Good morning. It's Friday and it's time for another Lesson 5 devotional. I'm a little late getting this one out, but hey, do you remember when you first met your spouse? Do you remember what it was like? Do you remember how when you're friends and you're dating and how you just want to be around each other all the time and you'll do whatever it takes to be around your spouse at that time when you're friends and dating? You'll do things out of character. I remember when Rachel and I first became friends, and it was her first year of teaching at Sequoia Elementary, and how we would just have so much fun together, hanging out and having a good time. But there was times that she couldn't go do something, or we couldn't hang out because she had papers to grade. And so what would I do? I would go over to her apartment or meet her somewhere, Starbucks somewhere, and we would just grade papers together, just to be together. I remember sometimes she wouldn't be able to come to church on a Wednesday night, but I would talk her into coming, and we'd just grade papers, and just so I could be with her. And but over the years, that's changed. Now that we're married, some of the things I did out of character, I don't do now. But last night, after 10 years of teaching, last night she had a lot of papers to grade, and because she's been spending every night at the kitchen table with our daughter doing homework for the last 2 weeks, from the time they get home to the time they go to bed, they're doing homework. So it was late last night after homework was finished, but Rachel had papers to grade, and she was in there in the bedroom, and I could tell she wanted me to be by her, just be with her. So I went back there and I turned on the Cardinals game and was watching it, and I could tell she was struggling. And I said, "Hey, do you need some help?" And she said, "Yeah, if you're not busy." And I said, "Well, I'm just watching the Cardinals get beat by the Cubs, and I'd rather gouge my eyes out than watch that, since Cardinals-Cubs rivalry." But anyways, I digress. So I turned the game off, and I start grading papers with her. And one of the questions was fill in the blank to complete the sentence, and it was blank never fails. And I expected a lot of kids to put God and Jesus and love, because those are popular, and especially with the songs about love never fails. But I didn't expect this one answer. This young man named Jonas put grace never fails. And when I read that, I just thought how simple that was, but yet how profound it was. That grace never fails. And it caused me to think and ponder and just meditate on that. And I thought about how in my own life with my kids, how I'm quick to get angry and I'm quick to get upset and mad when they mess up and do the wrong things. And I'm quick to spank them and put them in timeout and take away privileges and toys and things. And then I began to think about God. Does God treat us that way? Grace never fails. I kept coming to my mind. When I mess up, when I stumble and fall, when I screw up and I do the wrong things, does God immediately do what I do? But grace never fails. It kept coming to my mind. And then I thought of this scripture in James chapter 4. What causes fights and quarrels among you? Do they come from your desires that battle within you? You desire, but you do not have, so you kill. You covet, but you cannot get what you want, so you quarrel and fight. You do not have because you do not ask God. And when you ask God, you do not receive because you ask with wrong motives, that you may spend what you get on your pleasures. You adulterous people, don't you know that friendship with the world means enmity against God? Therefore, anyone who chooses to be a friend of the world becomes an enemy of God. Or do you think Scripture says without reason that he jealously longs for the Spirit he has caused to dwell in us? And then verse 6, but he gives more grace. Some versions say he gives greater grace. I think about when I'm in traffic and someone cuts me off, and how I'm not so quick to give grace, and I get this road rage and I mumble under my breath. Or when someone in front of me is driving slow and I'm in a hurry to get somewhere, I'm not so quick to give grace. And so my challenge to you is, what kind of grace are you extending? Grace never fails. God's grace never fails. He gives greater grace. He gives more grace. What kind of grace are you extending in times when people upset you, when you get mad and you get angry? What kind of grace are you quick to discipline like I am? Or are you quick to give God's grace, that greater grace, that extended grace, that more grace, the kind of grace that never fails? Think about that today as you go through your day, and see if you can't give greater grace, the kind of grace that doesn't fail. God bless you. Love you. I know I talked fast, but I hope you have a good day.